And people began to term me as nibufu, ombuade, obekanad. You know, when I'm angry, I say a whole lot of things. I say a lot. I can come to church and come and slap somebody and just go.
I can destroy almost everything when I get angry. Like, if you need to just meet me koshegu. Like, I was that rough.
Sometimes the person is angry with the crowd, no, maybe or me free, but you are there, you can't sleep. You get anxiety attacks and things like that because if you're angry with somebody and you see them right now, you see the sad part is that the person is not even bothered. But you see them and you have to remind yourself that you're angry with the person and put yourself in an angry state. So it's like you can be smiling with all of us here, and then one person will just come and your mood will just change. Yeah.
Why? I suffered depression until I had my second child.
Wow.
Yes. Until I was always angry.
So it's like people get hurt, they get angry. Then from the anger, they resent people. From the resentment, you enter bitterness. Then you have hatred.
Wow.
And then in the end, if you're not careful, you can kill someone.
Wow. Welcome, viewers, to today's episode of the GOB3 Show, that is God Over Broken Emotions, on Caris Podcast. So in this episode, we will be discussing how betrayal, anger, and forgiveness affect us as Christians and as individuals. With me today, it's Madam Selina, Brother Dennis, and Sister Lillian. So let's keep the ball rolling. This goes to all of us. How do we manage anger, betrayal, and forgiveness as individuals? So, Lillian, start with us.
So betrayal, betrayal happens when you trust people so much, when you have really built a relationship with them, and then there are some things you don't expect from people, and you get betrayed. Sometimes it breaks you so much that people tend to have trust issues from situations like
trust issues,
being betrayed by especially by people that you really, really trust. Sometimes when you say some things to people and then you expect that they will have your back, before you realize it's all over the place. Or sometimes when you have expectations of people and then it doesn't go as you expected, you feel betrayed. Well, I believe we've all been betrayed. I've been betrayed several times, but we just learn not to depend on people so much. We just learn not to be too dependent or to have so much expectations, because it's when you have expectations that you get disappointed. That's when you feel betrayed. I remember that there was a time that two of my friends betrayed me. We were very good friends. We were 3 friends, and then 2 of them were traveling. As close as we were, I got to know from people that my friends had traveled. We were close. Not just, we were very close. We slept together.
In fact, we didn't slept together.
They were.
It's not where I'm coming from. So, and then, so all of a sudden, I go to this person's house and they're like, oh, Niho, then somebody told me that, oh, your friends have traveled. They've traveled out of the country. And I said, how? We were together 2 days ago. We were together 3 days ago. And the funny thing is that it's not as if you are traveling and you don't want to tell anybody. They are told other people. So imagine how I was feeling when I wasn't told. So I was like, and now they've gone to a certain pastor and the pastor said, I'm a witch. So maybe if they tell me, But
is that betrayal?
That is betrayal. That
They
is betrayal
betrayed their
because
friendship.
you betrayed our friendship. No, so this is where the betrayal comes in. So later I got to know that an issue had gone on and they didn't tell me about it. It's something they both had against me. And I didn't know. And we were moving, we were cool. So it means that all those times where I thought that I
You
had
had
friends that I told my innermost secrets to, the two of them had things against me that. And I felt so betrayed. I felt like, how could I be with people like this? And funny enough, when they went there, after some time, they communicated, and then I told them how I felt. And we are now good friends. So from the betrayal, I got angry for a very long time, because the first time one of them reached out to me, what I told the person was, not everybody that comes into your life is meant to stay.
For sure.
Some people must come for a
And
purpose,
go.
and then when whatever purpose they came for is over.
They move
So
on.
probably that is who you are, one of those people who must just pass through my life. So but I was able to get over the anger. I don't know how I did it, but I got over it. I forgave them. And then we are back to being good friends.
Okay, so as follow-up to that, it is a question to all of us. What causes anger? This to all of us. What causes
Being
anger?
hurt, being betrayed. Because so I think that before you feel betrayed, you feel that you've been hurt. Or I don't know which one comes first. That the betrayal or the hurt.
comes
The hurt
The
comes
anger is
first.
a response to the betrayal.
Exactly. So that is what causes it.
Okay, so Selena, what causes anger?
Anger is when you are being wronged. When something you don't want is done to you. Like I'll use Jesus and Judas as the example.
But Jesus wasn't angered, or
Maybe
he rather
Judas-
forgave.
No, I'm coming from a perspective
Okay.
where it's maybe Judas was angered by certain things. He never said it. He didn't forgive, and then he betrayed. It's one aspect. Before betrayal, there could be an anger. Somebody could have been angered before they will betray you, or it's vice versa. Anger is when people push you to the limit. Like you can't come and slap me. Of course, I'll be angered. Like me,
But there are people that are very resilient to, like, they are very tough. You can push them. You don't get what you want.
That comes with time. People with maturity, it doesn't just happen in a day.
Oh, okay.
Some people have seen it all, so they don't get angry. You know, let me use police and these military guys as examples. When we are doing demonstrations, sometimes people push them to the limit, yet they are being trained that no matter what, as far as the person is a citizen or is not
Not Ghana,
uniformed,
please.
like, oh no, no, they do it. Sometimes
Oh no, I'm
they
just,
do it.
yeah.
Yeah, sometimes they do it. We can, sometimes even our pastors, let's relate it to our daily lives. Even our parents, we anger them, yet they are able to hold it, like you are saying. But anger is beyond. Anger is when something is beyond your control, like it pushes you to where there is nothing you can do. Like membesa, then you get angry. People push you to the limit. I think this anger thing, we should define it very
So,
well.
Brandon, is what causes anger?
No, not the causes.
Before I even
Like
get
I
back
have-
to it, so
yeah.
I want to look at the anger. So the anger is basically it's an emotional response to when something goes bad or things don't go your way or someone wrongs you. So part of your reaction to the event is that you get angry, and it's usually a strong emotion that people feel. Of course, it varies in strength. So depending on how you are reacting to a particular situation, the cause of the anger usually, like somebody proposed that there are three things that result in an anger state. So the first one would be the triggering event or the actual event. So if it is like your situation, for example, you realize that your friends traveled, they didn't inform you, and these are people that you had a certain expectation of. Now, that is the triggering event. It could be that a husband comes home, there's no food in the house. That's the triggering event. The wife has seen the husband talking to another lady. That's a triggering event. I'm trying to find something else. That your child breaks a glass in the house.
Hey,
that is a
that
triggering,
one.
now it's a triggering event.
Place.
So
That
the soup is like, yeah, you told them to heat the soup, they didn't heat the soup. I said, so that's the triggering event. Now, that event by itself is not something that will necessarily make you angry. But then that's something that has happened.
Yeah.
Now, the next thing is your state or the personality of the person that the thing has happened to. So your framework, your mindset, or where your mind is at that point in time. If a husband comes from work and then he's already angry with somebody at work, and the wife tells him that Kujo has spots or broken glass. That's different from he got a promotion and he has come home and then they said that Kojo has broken glass.
Yes.
So
You forgive Kojo.
if either he has been promoted or he just got salary and he came home, now and the
Tension and harness,
but
yeah.
if he just finished paying school fees and
Kojo has broken.
Kojo has broken glass and Kojo's results were already not good, it's like he puts him in the so within the framework of the person, your pre-anger state is important. So maybe the person is already in a bad mood. They can easily be triggered to get angry. And then the other part is your assessment of the situation. So something has happened, you are coming in, your personality is or the state you are in currently is that you are upset with something already, you are dealing with something already, you are broken down already, or you are happy, you just received good news, you are in a good mood. So when that comes in, then the other part is your assessment of the situation. So if you have just received promotion, you know that it comes with money.
Yeah.
So when they say that Kojo has broken the glass, glass, yeah, it's not of you don't have a problem. But if you just pay school fees or you just run out of, or you are on a very tight budget at that point in time, and then they say Kojo has broken the glass, and that's the second time he has done it in a week, like you go off, because at that point, like assessing that is like, Kojo, why are you destroying things in the house? Like, you need some direction in your head before you are able to think. So the dynamics. So it's you can consider the three things when it comes to somebody getting angry, the state that they're in before, what actually happened, and stuff like that. So sometimes I realize that something that somebody will not get angry at will make somebody angry, or even the same person, something that yesterday they were not angry about. Today they are angry about it. Or even the other way around, something that used to anger them, it gets to a point they are not angry about it again. So it's the personality involved, what is happening, and then the assessment.
So does that pre-inform us that there could be different forms of anger, or every anger is anger?
Oh yeah, you have different forms. You can have, so that is why, so we say God created us, God has emotions. So there's righteous anger. If you hear, for example, that somebody has armed robbers around your community, or they've caught one of them, you see that you'll be angry because these are armed robbers, they have harmed somebody, they have killed someone. Your reaction to that will be different. There's assertive anger where you're also trying to dominate people and stuff like that. And there's anger to that is not good. The destructive one where it is only going to end in a bad outcome. So you have various forms of anger. The emotion is the same, but that's what I'm saying. So the emotion is the same, but the purpose or what it is that is triggering it might be different. Yeah.
Okay, so before I go on my next question, just as an instance to the story our sister said, there was this time that a friend of mine, I think at that point I got very angry with myself, and they at the other end also got offended, but okay, so this is the story. They were married, let's say this week, about getting married, and I met them Friday. Let's say today is Friday, tomorrow they are married. Met them Friday, we spoke had a lengthy discussion. They never informed me they said anything about it.
Yeah, you're getting married.
They're getting married tomorrow. And I was home
They
Saturday.
forgot that they were getting married.
I was home
They didn't
Saturday
forget.
morning. Friends started calling. Oh, Charlie, now my
you
Lillian
not coming for
wedding.
the
I know.
wedding?
Sir, which wedding? Lillian. I said, Lillian, which Lillian? And Lillian can say, oh, no, you're lying. I met them yesterday. We spoke. They sent me pictures and I said, really?
It's because you are a wench.
So I told them that no, I'm not coming because I wasn't invited and I didn't go. I felt, let me borrow, I felt betrayed. I felt angered in me, like in my spirit. Like, and at the end, they also felt offended that Omo, I remember. So like for like years, so one day I think we met at a program and I approached because then I think I was matured in a lot of ways. So I approached and I was like, hey, Charlie, we'll be in here. I'm over invite me. And they were like, oh, so there we patched up things. And I believe that we sometimes let things get to us or in like the question is there's different forms or types of things or like anger, things that triggers that thing called anger in us. So I think I'm in support that they are depending on what might have, like you've had promotions or when your salary from work. You might be in here, but like if you really spent paid fees and all that, but like it's of no cost.
Yeah.
You get it? So we are learning. So my next question is, what happens when we get angry? Sister Selena, what happens when we get angry?
What happens?
Yes.
Hey.
See, hey.
What happens?
What happens?
What happens?
When you get angry?
Oh, over time, I've learned to just keep quiet. Because at a point, I realized when I get angry, it's nasty. It was not helpful because maybe it's one person who offended me, but my reaction caused others. And I've realized that anytime I get angry, the people who angered me had their ways. Like, I feel like they are controlling me. So I learned to stop being angry. I get angry. I do. Like yesterday, I was supposed to go somewhere with my husband. Only for him to tell me around 5 p.m. that he's not going. And I was like, but why didn't you tell me? I even took the dress code and everything else, ironed it. You were leading me on. So if you knew you were, I got angry. But, well, his anger, he not going should not stop me from going to have fun. Yeah. So I dressed up and went wherever I had to go. I got angry, but by the time I got home, he was like, how was the program? I just walked past. I didn't even bath. I went to sleep. Because if I should respond, it wouldn't be nice.
Yeah.
I would feel like I may offend him, and that offense might be worse. So over time, I think I have learned not to get angry because anytime I get angry, I feel if Lillian angers me, I feel Lillian has the ability to control me, like to see me misbehaving. The person will feel fulfilled because already no wama uwefu and he or push you around.
You feel enslaved by
the person's action that puts me in that particular state. So I do a lot of things when I get angry, but lately I have learned to be quiet. I have learned to walk away. I have learned to just leave the person in his or her world so that I'll also be in mine. So I prefer now, dear, I walk away. But first, I can just slap. At first, I react, Papa. I react and I've gotten a lot of unnecessary
outcomes.
Outcomes with people around me. And people began to term me as nibufu, ombuadie, obekanadu. You know, when I'm angry, I say a whole lot of things. I say a lot. I can come to church and come and slap somebody and just go
I
home.
can relate. You know, we all have anger issues.
Yes.
Personally, I think I've learned
the hard way.
Because you be like you get it. I can destroy almost everything in our home.
Okay, you are part of the destroyers.
I can destroy almost everything when I get angry. Like if you need to just meet me koshegu. Meet me this. Like I was that rough.
Yeah, it
But
was
growing
that
up,
bad.
I think my turning point was my first year in the university. You know, always being around, misbehaving, and family supporting you and all that. Now you're in a place where Obi and you are Obe came in mind, like facing, having different people from different backgrounds, different beliefs, and all that. And getting the opportunity also to be under big men, professors, like to learn. And that, like, my turning point was quite strange, but I learned the hard way. I learned the hard
Let me
way.
tell you one experience. When we got married first, you know, the previous episode I mentioned a friend's issue. That issue, it got triggered like
Thank you. I know it's
like Uncle
Dennis,
said. I got triggered by that particular issue, and then I got so angry I couldn't sleep. Only for me to get into my bedroom, my husband was asleep in his air condition. Like I was, this guy is sleeping. No, he angered me, but he was sleeping, and I was suffering. Like I was in the hall, I couldn't sleep. When during the day, my eyes were all puffy. I was looking very fine. I was looking like a zombie because of that anger. So since then, now it's either he won't sleep or we will both not sleep. I got to that point. And then later I realized that I was even hurting myself more than hurting him because of that particular issue. So I just decided, I learned not to complain again about that particular issue. We got over that stage, and I don't get angry and not sleep again. I make sure I don't get angry. I'm trying. We are all trying. Like the turning point for you, that was my turning. My husband ignoring
Sleeping
me and
and
sleeping. The guy slept. He slept. He was comfortably sleeping. I went and offed the AC, came back. He woke up on it.
Went back
He
to
was
sleep.
he was sleeping.
Said that
I
he's
was
not having
so-
sleep.
He will not give you what he wants.
So if he had given in to that, it means that my anger was going to control
Exactly.
him also.
Exactly.
So in order not to be controlled by my anger, I was so angry. I was still angry. It took me days to get over that particular. And then I realized that he was teaching me a lesson. So I stopped. I stopped. And since then, I have been calmer. I have learned to, like I said before, things don't really move me. When I see that I'm getting angry, I'll just walk away. I was once a class prefect. Recently, I was in school and I was the class prefect. Hey, my class members were old people. And some of them would just come and do me like we are Kolanti, no, we are Bano, class prefects now, yes, our class prefect my foot. And all of them, when we completed, they gave me gifts. Some people gave me a lot, and they said they thought I would get angry and react. And I was so grateful that time. Because of that, I've had contracts. I'm here, but I'm doing some work for people in Texas because I was able to control that thing.
Yeah.
So if not, anger controls you than you think you are controlling it. It's not.
Okay, but then it's in your own perspective. What happens or what do you do when you're angry?
Well, I think before I even answer that, let me add. There's one form of anger I didn't mention. There's like most of the time you see people express the anger, but we also have the what we call passive aggressive one. So that one, the person is trying not to show that they are angry, but you can see signs that they are angry. So those people, they also destroy things, but in a funny way. So that they will bang the door. So as I am angry, he said no. But when I'm talking to him, he's not responding. They are so it's like they are expressing the anger, but in a quiet way. Whereas I angry, they'll say no. But when you want to engage them, it's like they are not responding.
Silent treatment.
They give you silent treatment. They will talk harshly and stuff. But I'm not angry and stuff like that. So that happens.
It helps.
It doesn't help.
It doesn't.
It's
No,
unique
that one
expression.
doesn't.
No, it helps.
No, it doesn't help.
No, it
helps.
doesn't.
It has helped though.
No, like you're not getting.
The passive aggressive
the fact that it doesn't.
It's better.
No,
it doesn't.
it's not better. No,
It doesn't. Like you are angry with him. You're not letting the person know, but your actions
Are speaking.
is they
speak louder than
you get it.
Yeah.
the silence.
Yeah. So it's like instead of saying that what you did upset me, I will not say
me
do.
okay,
I will
but
do things,
hold it.
Doors.
breaking doors and things, like go and hit the wall and stuff like that. It's like, if you ask my wife and say yes, I'm okay. So it's like, it's an unhealthy way of expressing your anger.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not making it clear that you're angry, and you too, you are doing something else.
So now we are going to agree that it is good to express anger.
Yeah, you have to express it in a healthy
In a
way.
healthy way.
That's what it is.
Which one is healthy?
But not destroying.
Okay, I'm sure by not destroying things, that's what I'm sure we get.
No, by not destroying what? Things.
Yeah, the
objects.
people, when they get angry, they'll punch the wall. The people will hit their head against the wall. Some will, if you happen to be in their path, I'll make it natural. And
The,
stuff like that.
Kick
the
the
same,
action,
the same boss I said who exposed me gave me that leverage. That this same man, Nibu phone kasao. Uje no, otumi to the phone. Na phone I say, Ebi, bring me the. Oh, he's sport. So what are you going to do? Like, and immediately he gets angered. Like he does, his anger doesn't last within few seconds.
By short, but he end up doing things and stuff like that.
Oh, they know to phone, and then wait me ask at desk. Within few seconds, I say, on kind AC.
And that's unhealthy.
It's
Very
healthy.
unhealthy.
It's
Very
unhealthy.
unhealthy.
It's unhealthy.
Very unhealthy. Very unhealthy.
I
Very,
well,
very unhealthy.
Me, when I'm angry, I express it. Sometimes it's healthy, sometimes it's not healthy, depending on
The expression
on
there.
on
Who
the
you
issue
are,
that got me angry. And there are times that I give the silent treatment. You know, most times when we give silent treatment, it's when we expected that you know why we are angry.
And we are wrong.
Especially
on
in
that.
marriages, it happens a lot because you know people do things in marriages and then they expect that the other person will not get offended, but you know that's what you did.
Yeah.
It's wrong, and you know that this person is angry because of this particular issue.
But
Sometimes they don't know that. That's
Sometimes
why.
they don't know. Sometimes people pretend.
They know.
At times, genuinely, they don't know. At times, also, they know.
They don't know. Most of the time, they don't
Sometimes
know
people
because
don't
you
know what
expect
exactly
them to think for you, but they don't know. They don't know. Most of the time, I think I've had a couple of issues on that particular. I called for a meeting and I was expressing that this, that. I have some students and I was telling them, you did it, Madam Sir, minimal. Like I know, I didn't know this thing really angered
No,
you.
for me,
in
for
a
me,
positive
for
And
me,
sometimes it's even that the same thing initially you didn't react to it.
Yeah.
And then
exactly what I
another
was about
time,
saying. It's happening.
you
The
were-
same thing.
it's like because you were not in a good mood. It's like you have already. So it's like, so the person asks, what is the problem? You can't, and you're not also because you want to give them silence. So you're not telling them what is actually the issue. So they don't know what is happening. So it is. It's not safe to assume that the person knows what they've done because sometimes what you think is the issue, they don't see it as a problem.
Yeah.
And you are expecting that because you are upset and you're not talking to them, they should magically know what the problem is. It doesn't hurt if you tell them that this and this and this is what you did, and I don't like it. Okay. But if you keep it to yourself and say that I expect you to know, or they ask you what did I, so sometimes the person will even come out and say that, oh, what did I do? And they say that I wouldn't the way
I know.
but how else is the person supposed to make amends or even apologize if they don't know what exactly they've done? So those things are there. Back to the what happens when we are angry. I mean, it takes several tolls on you, or people react differently. The biologically your heart rates will increase. Some people have clenched fists and stuff like that. Some cannot even get their words out. They can't talk because of the state that they are in, and they'll be panting. Their palms will be sweating and stuff like that. Emotionally too, you are not in a good place because you are in a high place. You become irritable. Kakra, you take off, like you get, and that's when if a man and a wife are fighting, if you are not careful, the children will catch 3 bullets, or somebody in the environment, or sometimes when you are entering the house and you don't know that your children have offended your wife, and then you innocently go and say something, and they will add you to all the people and stuff like that. So it happens. So it's like you become the slightest thing will upset you. You go off easily, and then you usually become frustrated, and you become something else. You also end up experiencing anxiety because of the state you are in. You don't
relate the anxiety to what she went through with
Yeah.
her story.
Yeah, when the husband was
Not
was,
even
was
to
not
sleep,
minding,
but the husband
and he
was,
was sleeping.
sleeping.
And I didn't
Yeah.
that particular day, man, we didn't get chill. I was
But
so
her husband
hungry.
was peacefully.
Peacefully
The
sleeping.
guy
So
was
on the
sleeping. He was sleeping.
So you can have, and then behaviorally, in terms of behavior, you can have people hitting things, people will be yelling,
Yeah.
they'll be screaming, and if the person is not matured, children, you see them throwing tantrum on the floor and stuff like that. So that's how I can tell that the person, so somebody can say I'm not angry, but you can see that I'm talking to you, I'm not responding. You are hitting things, and sometimes even
when you're
innocent
fully
remote
served.
can catch
Remote.
things.
Throw the remote away.
When they press the remote and doesn't respond, like remote.
A
catches
friend of
stroke.
mine said anytime his wife gets angry, when he gets home, he calls him Kale Papa. Then he knows that no, there is fire.
Yes,
But when they call you dear or daddy,
You know that everything
They're
is
not
fine.
angry. Or when they call you by the name of the children.
Kale Papa. That's
Problem.
So he'll be walking on eggshells, making sure that, and she'll be like, another now Nantisa. Me the best, like he doesn't know what exactly to do in that particular sense. So most of
She
the
doesn't
time,
know what the problem is.
yes, expressing their anger is I don't know.
I think there's a difference between expressing the anger and talking about the issue.
Wait, they are different things. They are not the
different
same.
things.
They are two different things.
Yes, because
expressing it is bad.
Okay, so I think I have a question here.
express
I have a question here that can relate, or we can throw more. I don't know if you are done with your submission.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so now the question here is: does anger really affect us? If it does, in what ways?
Hey, anger there is a
anger
killer
affects us.
Oh, it affects us in different ways.
in a lot of ways.
At least.
Health-wise, at that particular time, your BP could go high. You could get. Let's come to the health aspect. Me, I'll do the health aspect of it.
Philip was off
You mentioned that you have heart palpitations.
Yeah.
You
Your
have-
blood pressure go up.
Yeah, your blood pressure goes up, and you know what happens in our recent years when your blood pressure goes up. It means you are heading towards the danger zone. Either you get stroke, mild stroke, either you get heart attacks. Aside that, it makes you look scruffy. At that particular moment, you become something people don't want to get close to. It shows. It makes you look. I don't know what word to use. It makes you look horrible. Like it makes it difficult for people to even come to you, to even tell you that hey, where did you go at that day? But who reacting or be wanting? Well, who fought? We can't want to make. I'll cite this as an example. Say way back, many madam for be me and say I got to watch Soweto. And when we got there was this woman who was screaming up, like insulting people. She was so angry. And then she just like bent herself on a table and Weje said nana tad and nechinate. And Obias Rose said you
catch the bullet.
Yeah.
Madam for guy back, say where the American. And no call no say madam. Me pacho. Leggings no, my meaning Danny no, she started laughing. No, say, it's me go to yam from and there and then
She was calm.
no say, oh, me that's why.
Yeah.
But still, me told me watching as oh, be I am fire no like she, then I told my friend that oh yeah, dear Bema
Hilarious. Yeah, the cock. Yeah.
Yes. So at that particular because of anger, no we go anymore. And because of anger, it be a some be a feral or no say I at least expect this from you. Like and you won't send can way PFU. So it does a lot of damage than good. I'm sure my fellow brother and sister will also add theirs to it.
So there's even the issue of you can get depression. You can get like we were talking about the person's appearance. You can get asthma from keeping
Eczema.
from keeping anger. No, some people keep the anger for a long time.
Yes, they do.
They keep it for a very long time. You can then get diabetes. You can get gastric stomach issues. Yeah, because you are not, because it affects your
Whole system.
it affects your whole system. There are people who have been hospitalized because they were holding. There's someone who was actually hospitalized in the hospital for a long time, and they couldn't find what was wrong with the person. Eventually, they realized that they were having issue with somebody, and then so I think the doctor or someone that mentioned the person's name. He said, they will never forgive the person. And they said that is what was keeping them in the hospital, because if they let that issue go, they'll be fine. They said if it is that person, no. And they were there for a long time, and their situation got worse. So it takes a toll on you, on your body parts, seriously. So if sometimes it's just best to deal with it in a healthy way and get it over with, rather than, because you it's like sometimes the person is even angry with the crowd, no, maybe or home free, but you are there, you can't sleep. You get anxiety attacks and things like that, because if you're angry with somebody and you see them right now, you see, the sad part is that the person is not even bothered. But you see them and you have to remind yourself that you're angry with the person and put yourself in an angry state. So it's like you can be smiling with all of us here, then one person will just come and your mood will just change.
Yeah.
Why?
The person is controlling you.
Because the person you are controlling, your anger is controlling you, because the person is free walking.
Yeah.
The person is free walking.
But because the person angered you.
If your child break glass in the house and then your child, have you seen children? They'll break glass and they'll be walking around freely.
Yes.
There was a day I was working, and then my daughter came into. She wanted something. So when I finished with her, she was jumping and then her hand hit my external drive. Was close to the edge of the table, so the external drive fell. It got destroyed. But then she was just there jumping around the house, and she said what she's done. I was watching. I said, hey, do you know what you have done? Like in my mind, it's like you have cost me like my data and a lot of things I have on that hand. I do not have access to them now. But the person who did it is walking around freely and smiling. But if I decided to hold a grudge and say I'm angry over, what will I get from it?
Yeah.
So like by now, because I just even remember that my hard drive got spoiled, and because the data I don't have access to it. But I can't do anything about it because she did not mean to destroy it. She didn't even know that it was something that could easily get spoiled. And that's why I was saying sometimes you need to really think about it. Because even if I had placed it away from the edge of the table, that wouldn't have happened. But sometimes because of the state we are in, we don't get to think through the thing holistically and stuff like that. So it really affects you.
Me, I realized that anger actually makes you a bitter person if you keep it for a very long time. You get so bitter, not just with the person who got you angry. You become a bitter person. Everything gets you angry. Things that are not supposed to even get you angry gets you angry. Because you are just holding on. And I've been there before. I remember when I had my first child, I had suffered before giving birth, not to say that it took a long time, no. But during the pregnancy, I had so much complications. During the birth of the baby, I had a whole lot of... I almost lost my life. The baby almost lost her life. So, coming back from the hospital, I had gone through so much. And then, when I came home, I felt like these people are not treating me the way I'm supposed to be treated, because I felt like I had gone through so much at the hospital.
Is that not post?
Yes, postpartum depression. And I suffered depression because of anger. So the least thing my husband does, I'm angry. The least thing my mother-in-law does, I realize that things that then sometimes I'm just there alone, then I'm crying, even when nobody has offended me. Just because I am angry over certain things I'm not even supposed to get angry over, or things that I could have just let go. But because I had kept some form of anger, there's something that I was supposed to address that I didn't address. They were in me, I became bitter, and then I became depressed. I suffered depression I suffered depression until I had my second child.
Wow.
Yes.
That's
until
a long time.
I was always angry.
Wow.
And I remember there was a time I told my husband that before you married me, I was a very happy person. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm bubbly. I'm all over the place. I'm a very happy person. I hardly get angry. But you married me and turned me into this person that I am not. I am always angry. I am always angry with myself. I'm always angry with something. And so, So I realized that no, it's because I am not letting go of a particular issue that I should let go. So bitterness, depression, I suffered it for almost 3 years.
Okay, so just to continue from your story, how did you, and this goes to all of us, how did you manage that anger thing? How were you able to get out of that situation?
But before she answers, I just wanted to see there's this progression that I read from somewhere, one of the guys I used. So it's like people get hurt, they get angry. Then from the anger, they resent people. From the resentment, you enter bitterness. Then you have hatred.
Wow.
And then in the end, if you're not careful, you can kill someone.
Wow.
And it affects you. That thing, I think I've experienced it before. When after my mom passed away, I felt...
I'm not cutting you. Go through that.
I've been through this
Go through this
So
stage.
it's hurt. So like the betrayal. So like if you feel betrayed, then you get angry. Because the betrayal triggers anger in you. Now, if you fail to address that, it leads to resentment. Because then it's like, you don't want them around you. You don't want, like, everything about them gets you angry. Then you transcend into bitterness, where you are not even letting, because it keeps growing. Instead of the level of hatred, the level of the negativity increases. So it's like, you can't, because if I'm angry at you for not greeting me, it's different.
Yes.
But if I move to your whole personality and everything you are doing, because now you can't find it looking nice.
You find fault with every
So like
thing.
that bitter, and a lot of bitter people around, you can see that, and you don't understand why that person is the way they are. It could be that one thing happened, they didn't address it, and it has just escalated all the way.
Very true.
Because after resentment, become bitter. And then once you transcend the bitterness, then hatred comes in. And then from hatred, if you're not careful.
Repeat that, because I personally have gone through all these stages.
with one particular
With one particular person, my mom. And it got to a point, those who were close to me then, I said, even if car bomb me trim them or that was how serious it was.
It was.
But I dealt with myself. I prayed, and I need to I'm now out of it. You get, but like, I was really touched when you were, because I saw myself in experiencing those stages.
It happens every day. We still have people around who that it comes with time. You learn all these things with time. It doesn't come in a day, because you were angered. You feel say nipa where the other and then you hold on to it, sir. Then all these stages come in.
But
when
I'm
you get to
happy.
resentment,
I'm happy we are
it's that
discussing
bad.
this, because I'm taking us back to our previous episode or session. It was until I took a stock of my life. Like I sat down and said, no, let me really take stock of my life. What is happening? I look out for common grounds to really understand what is really happening around me. That was when I said to myself, no, I say, me, give me. You get it? Even as much as I feel hurt by this person, shall I let it go? It's something triggered it.
You got to a stage.
You get it? Yeah.
You got to the stage where you saw that it was doing more damage than good. So that was how come you experience all these things. That is how it all starts with almost everybody.
Yeah.
If you refuse to let the anger go, then the resentment comes in, then the bitterness, then the other hatred. And you
once
can
it
even
gets to
hate your
hatred,
own self.
I was following.
You
It's
can even
very
hate
serious.
your own self, and you won't love things.
I went through this stage. I went through it because it was one issue that I was supposed to address. Or probably I addressed it, but I felt like it wasn't
The
handled.
response was no.
I didn't get the response I wanted from my husband. I didn't get it that way. And Oba awa for 4 days. Emotions are all over the place.
Baby.
You have a lot of hormonal imbalance.
As I said, I had already gone through a lot before. So it affected my home. It did. I resented my husband. I was so bitter to the extent that let's be real.
Take your time.
As we are trying to be real, let's be real. It affected even at what we
Your
do in the bedroom.
intimacy. Yeah.
No, of course.
How do you
No, of course.
expect them to?
No, of course. Yeah.
Because if I don't have a good relationship with you, I mean,
It's
how do
true,
you
lah.
live there? Better?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's
No,
not
I think when
possible.
it comes to that, I keep telling people one of my greatest points as a person is I've now developed very strong control over my brain. So if, let's say, when it comes to being intimate, then I don't have you up here, forget
It came
it.
with time.
I worked it out with
It
time.
came with
Yeah.
time. When you
yeah.
are telling someone in junior high school or senior high school,
No.
he doesn't care.
Okay, understand.
They
Of
just
course.
want
Of
to
course.
express what they are feeling
Yeah.
and or express who we are. Sometimes they'll just walk out on you. You have
Yeah.
other siblings who will be like, oh, I said no, you don't know waiting they go on safe.
It's true.
They the trend inside. Someone at this stage, I can do this my hair and feel very comfortable and have no issue with anybody, even when somebody talks about it.
Yeah.
But gone were the days when somebody talks about it, but then it will trigger
Yeah.
something in you. Then you
Emotions.
Sometimes
lose.
go and call your squad.
Not only that, it makes you lose your self-esteem. It goes to that level. You people don't understand the level of damage it does. It's worse than we think. Anger.
So how do we manage anger?
How
do we manage it? How do we manage anger?
Because I realized it was doing more harm than
damage.
to me, my children. Because if I'm bitter, if I don't have love, how do I even
Relate with your kids. Yeah.
relate with the
If
kids?
you're angry with your
to teach
husband
them
and you see your
love?
children, and then you remember your husband,
The worst is
and then
they look like him.
if it look like him, the idea that you couldn't give your husband, you give it to your
So
children.
I realized that I was actually doing a whole lot of wrong because of that bitterness, because it had gone from the anger to bitterness to depression. So one day we talked about it because it was destroying my home.
Yeah.
We talked about it, and it's not as if when we talked about it that was all. It took me a very long time, even after we talked about it,
Yeah.
to now come back to the normal people we were when we got married. It was like we were starting all over.
Yeah.
It took a very long time. So I believe that if you are angry, instead of keeping it in you and then letting it get to that extent of bitterness and hatred and all that, it's better to talk about it. Address it. Communication is, I believe that communication is key in most of
Very key.
every relationship,
Very
not
key.
just marriage, friendship and everything. Because if you are angry and you are not letting the other person know why you are angry, they don't know why you are angry. As I said earlier, I said I expect the person to know that, but I realized that no, you're supposed to communicate, talk about it. This is why I'm angry, and I think that the other person should also accept their fault. This is what they did, because if you don't accept your fault, it means that I'll still be angry.
No, the person might not accept the fault. So you letting it go depends on you. It's not on the person.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I think, like we say in communication, it's a two-way thing. I've done something, knowingly or unknowingly, you're addressing it. The fact that I accept or I understand you from where you're coming from, as humans, and also it depends on who you are dealing with, the maturity of the person.
Not only that, you can't go and call your boss and tell him, say, oh, I'm be grateful.
It's relative.
It depends.
It depends. It's relative.
To your boss.
Yeah.
Yes,
A
it's
CEO of a company
No,
that you work
okay,
with.
so
Then you go and tell
Selena,
him that
let me give you a
because
practical
you didn't
experience.
put,
Let me give you a practical
a box
experience.
of water in my office. I am angry.
Let me
But
give you a
my
practical
boss,
experience.
Woman is grateful, pa.
Let me give you a practical
Woman is
experience.
grateful, pa.
So,
No.
let me give you a practical experience. And again, to the same company I was talking about, this man, boss of mine, who exposed me,
That's your boss.
No, wait, let me. It's
He's
not him.
different boss.
No, it's not him.
Yo.
It's not him. Let me land. He really exposed me to the structure of the company and all that. So I was like new in the company, but I knew a lot. So something happened, of course, which I don't want to disclose.
Yeah.
Sure.
He was replaced. A new guy came in. Now the new guy, who is my boss, obviously, in our first meeting with the team, started saying things which weren't something he could do as he being part of the group. I became very irritative, like, because I wasn't comfortable knowing that, okay, Dennis is saying something like, okay, let me to aeroplane. I can let me connect Apple. It is not possible. So I was challenged. I didn't challenge him at that point. I didn't say anything. I kept quiet. After the meeting, I went to his office and I told him that, Opana, you know this and this he said wasn't right. You can't do this as part of the structures. And what he said was, I can do anything as the boss and keep quiet. You can't tell me what to do. Later on, he said that I kept quiet. Now I strategized. No, like with me, I knew the structures of the business and all that. I never fell victim to what he was doing, but other people fell victim of. And anytime like you, okay, who respecting as the boss or trying to assemble, instead of him to shield you, he will not.
He won't.
So then people go hate and they come and some of us became like the enemy Harry. They will come in because we were very firm and they saw that we couldn't be controlled by what enemy do. So like they come to me personally, most colleagues came to me. I always tell them that, listen, as blacks or as individuals, what I've learned is sometimes we tend to sell our, I don't know, say a penny deal, say whatever to whites foolishly.
Right.
You get it? You know this person can't do ABC, but because you think he's white or you're so you sell your integrity
and
to
even
that
your
person.
colleagues.
And it got to a point, sometimes they come to me and I say, okay, so this is what I know, the structure of the company, or this is what I believe. We respect the guy, but this and this is what you should do. They will go back and say, Eben said. So even till now, those who are close, they know. If Mini Oka saying, I'm talking about Lillian, I'll tell Dennis, Oka, tell Lillian, this is what I said. Don't misquote me. Don't add some. At least those who are close to me now, they know. Like, I'll tell you, say it as I've said it. Because Oyana Okopima, and it happened to one guy, you know, in Pana send me a mobile. Working in that company, anytime I travel out of Accra, if let's say I'm going to Kumasi or North, unless maybe I decide to make stoppage on the way, I always go by flight, or we always. This guy came and he was like, flight. We're going for a show, Mankasa. I was like, fine, go, but me and make my ticket. This guy found so issue, like I think problem. Arrange meeting with me and the managing director. Say I'm disrespecting him. I took me see him drive. And I told the MD that it's not see me drive. What's me drive here? Give me vehicle, mommy car, papa. The car you wanted us to use, that car in that company, has never driven from, let's say, the office to even the ministry before. And he wants me to use that car to North. I did not. The MD was like, his response was that, Eben, do whatever I want to do. Because the issue started stupid to him.
Yes.
No, so I flew to the North. The guy I went to him, driving that car, as foolish as he was, for 6 months, he was paying for the repair of that thing. And the guy was the first person to approve for that.
Why was he paying for the repairs?
I said, oh no, you can't say.
But that's your policy. Okay, anyway, that's
that is not the point. That is not the point. But like, I was expecting the boss who authorized them to, because my former boss, what the guy will do is, he will shield you. Say, yeah, with management, defend you. Then we call him in his office and give it to you. But this other guy, who wasn't following the structure of the company, will push you to the when you fought a problem bar, he will turn his back at you. He will be the first person to approve, say, you should have to pay, or you get it. So, like, I believe we all go through series of things that triggers.
You were talking about addressing this thing, eh?
Yeah.
And you, like your boss, you see, he didn't do anything about it. You chose to go and take your own ticket and travel. That is why I was telling my sister that this thing, sometimes you address it and you expect the person to know or realize their fault, they won't accept it.
So how then do we solve it? You see,
Solving it depends on you.
Resolve.
You have to let it
It will
go.
keep coming up. No.
It will keep coming up once you allow
with the
it.
person, I believe
No.
if it's not discussed or sorted out, it will keep.
Yeah, it will keep coming up.
No,
Way
I
of
think
caring.
where we shifted was where she was saying that you need to get the person to agree.
Agree to
Agree
it.
to it.
But you see, the point is, currently you are angry. You see, like I said, you are angry because of something. Check the emotion. Separate the event from the emotion. So fine,
Okay.
you came home, your wife didn't cook food. You are angry. The issue is not your anger. It is the food that has not been cooked.
Yes.
So let's address that and not the emotion
And not
that
the
comes with it.
anger.
So what I tell people is that you need to have an honest conversation sometimes with people. If somebody annoys you or they do something that upsets you, you have a conversation aside the emotion. So you put the emotions aside and have that conversation about the thing. That this particular thing, this is how it affects me. It upsets me. It doesn't make me feel happy. It doesn't rub well with me or whatever it is. But if you want, if you want the person to acknowledge that they have annoyed you or whatever it is, it's an issue of perspective.
Dennis,
They
for me-
might not necessarily see it as that, because I might not see it as a big deal.
Because
then the issue
you
itself-
understand it from the perspective of like putting aside that emotions to discuss issues.
No, not even before the discussion. I'm saying that, for example, if you came home and there's no food as a husband, and you know that maybe your wife was in the house, and then on the onset you are angry.
Because
That's
there's
why
no
is there no food in the house?
Yeah.
I know that you were in the house all this. So what were you doing in the house? You understand? In that scenario, you expect her to probably agree that yes, you should have cooked. Fine. But she's also telling you that you don't understand. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the issue then is not the emotion you're feeling, but the food that has not been cooked. And that is what you should focus on.
Just put the
Okay.
emotions
So
aside.
put the anger emotions aside and look at why there was no food. Probably when she explains, you realize that, she was not feeling well or something crossed her. And so I've witnessed a man come home from work and he entered the house and said there was no food. And the wife said that the children, they have a checkpoint closer. That's where, and you see, surprisingly, they have been buying food from there to eat in the house.
Yeah.
But that day alone, the man came home and the wife was in the house and he was angry. Why didn't they cook? And he was talking plenty. But this same wife also knew that on the days where they are not able to cook, they buy check from that place.
And
So if you
nobody
come
gets
and you are
angry,
throwing tantrum in the house over the lack of no food, what exactly is the problem?
there's a problem.
So sometimes that is what you need to look at. Rather, so that's why I said that when you're angry, ask yourself, why am I angry? That is something that you need to factor in. And then when you are able to find that particular thing, you might even realize that you are not justified in getting angry. Or even though you are supposed to be angry, you need to have empathy. You need to understand. You need to look for a solution rather than getting
Okay, so
upset and all that.
my point, or what I really want to get clarification on, it's all things being equal. Let's say from the scenario Lillian gave, two people, a husband and a wife, having issues or whatever. Now let's forget about the issue. We really want to discuss the issue and get solution today. Is it possible we put aside emotions and whatever and discuss?
That's what I'm saying as an honest conversation. So what you do is, we agree that we are going to talk about this thing, but we will both agree that we are not bringing emotions into this
Nobody gets
conversation.
angry.
So if you want to get angry, check yourself.
Let's not do
Exactly.
it.
So then, and when you realize that it's getting out of hand, defer the conversation. Say that, okay, I can see that you are not emotional. And sometimes that's a mistake we do. Because you are angry, you want to have the
Have
conversation,
the conversation at that point.
so that you can tell the person what is on your chest.
Exactly.
At that time, you feel you are right.
So
at
it's
that
like,
time, you feel
So
you are
that
right.
is where
There are
I say
times
the
you need to
emotions
say
and
what
things
you
are
so
coming in.
you want to say what is on your chest.
But
And
sometimes
that's
you're
not going
angry,
to help
you can't say
anybody.
what is on your chest.
Yeah.
When
You
you're not
see?
angry, you can't say it.
So you want to
That
say
is-
in the,
that is
in the
so-
mood that you are in. But you see, that will not help the relationship. So you have to wait.
That
that's why people don't like me.
that is where I would also say, taking us back to our previous episodes, it's a letter you'll be writing, and then after reading the letter, you see that no,
Yeah, you shouldn't.
you shouldn't.
send
And
that.
who here say, yeah.
And then you ask, into me pa and come be send it way. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It won't make
Because
sense.
some people also can, because it's like, and you see, it's true. You see, somebody said that you see, those negative emotions, they create a distance between you and the other person. The only reason why you're shouting is because you're emotionally distant.
Yeah.
And you feel that if you talk normally, the person cannot. So unless you shout.
Yes.
And you are in that frame. It's like, let me give it to the person.
Emotions.
In this state, so that.
This is the best
But
time.
it's not the best time.
It's not the best time.
So to help control your anger, if you know you're angry, sometimes that's not the best time to have the conversation.
Yeah.
If you know you are angry, walk away.
Yes, it's the best.
If you know you are angry, let's say, so count from 1 to 10,
keep quiet.
or count from
No, guys,
10 to
I think
1.
for me, it still boils down to the person you're dealing with. Everybody will see reason or other side to whatever. Personally, now, I used to be very rowdy, aggressive when I get angry. But now, we move on my day or I leave the scene. And yes, so it's the healthy way for me.
It's the stage.
But yes, so most people find issues with.
It's because
Why-
they are not
why-
able
why
to
is the
walk
person-
away.
Why is the person quiet? Like, no, at least Lillian, you're close. So people, Charlie, why is the guy keep
But
quiet?
the,
And then
the,
when
that
he-
the expectation is that you should get
I should
angry.
get angry. But
and shout.
now I keep quiet. I walk. It becomes an issue again.
Yeah, because you see, and that's the thing. Some people, when they are angry, they want, like, you see, it's very easy for me to say that. Onusu yese.
Yeah.
Right.
Without looking.
You feel right.
You understand?
You are right.
It justifies
Justifying
your reaction. But if you can't find anything to pin on the other person, it becomes like, okay, then you know that you are at fault. That's why when people are angry and then they are saying whatever they are saying and you don't respond, you see, it throws the balance off. Because it's like But then if Okanas or Okan, then we have a task, like we are actually changing each other.
Yeah.
But then if he says it, one person has to quench the fire. So if he says it and then you don't respond, then you see that it's easy to calm the situation. But if one person is doing it, that's also with the you'll be going at it, because then it now becomes an issue of somebody wants to win.
Yes.
And then you end up saying things they are not supposed to say. Because then it's like it's no longer about the relationship with the person. It's about who said the worst thing
At what time?
or who upset the other person the most.
Yeah.
So best case scenario, walk away. There was a husband whose wife was insulting him. Whenever they are arguing, and then she will insult the man and sing songs. And the man will just be quiet. The man was not minding him. So one day, like, why I don't know. The lady was fed up because the man was not responding.
Yeah.
And so we are making talks. Because it's like she has insulted the man.
Yeah.
She has sung, she has done everything.
Apart
if you know, see, in the end, the vocal tongues, because it's like she's not getting the response that she's looking for. And sometimes people deliberately try to trigger you. So that, because some say, I'm able to get you to also fall into the gutter with me. In the end, but if you're able to keep your peace and the issue is being discussed, there's no point where we can say that you erred in what you did. And that is what a mature person will do. Because then it preserves your integrity, it prevents your composure. We can also say that, but you should have also behaved this way. So let the person go off. Stay away from them if you can. Let them calm down and have a conversation. But if you want to settle it, and I know it's difficult sometimes, because it's like
it's difficult.
somebody is making you look like a small boy in front of everyone else, and you are like, you also don't want to escalate the situation. You calm down and all of that. But interestingly, people tend to respect people who are able to keep calm in that type of environment.
It's true.
Because I think, like, in the event of, let's say, Obi anger, should be fluent, you keep calm, and most people tend or describe such people as, okay, with Jimmy, and like you are weak and all that. Like, you know, it's
when
it's
you
a
are
way.
able to master calmness.
It's like this. Most of our drivers on our road, they drive in discipline, do foolish things on the road, and they go like, "Oh man, with me I see." And the fact that maybe you did something wrong in Panankasa doesn't mean you are right. But the reoccurrence or you repeating that thing, they see it to be okay. Just like the scenario I gave, most of these guys who I tend to be unprofessionals say, "Oh, Ghana police are not disciplined and all that," because they are YBB, and then you are one city, you won't go through the right process. So
Yeah.
you think so I feel like sometimes you need to. It's not something I do now, but I feel like sometimes you really need to give people the response they need. Or you think,
But
not
what then is the response? The response is which one? Because if you are responding in anger, you are making the situation
the
worse.
situation where it's okay.
So yeah, I can still come and tell you
Walk
that.
away.
So imagine that you misbehaved. The person was calm, they didn't say anything. And later they come and tell you that this thing that you did was wrong for this reason. It did not look good on you. It didn't create a good impression of our relationship. It's made me see in a different light. I was disappointed in you. It's better than the other way around. I know we'll get to forget, but let me share. So I was watching a court case where a man had killed about 6 children. And then they had been sentenced to life. So naturally the families were there. So all of them, the 5 families, they were telling the guy, you will die, you got what you deserve, and all that. The guy was still finishing him, he was not breaking.
Feast, yeah.
The last family, the parents told the man that we have forgiven him. And immediately they said that the guy broke down, he was crying.
Wow.
I saw that.
So if you meet anger with anger, it becomes an emotional battle of who can say the worst, who can do the worst.
And both of
But-
you will lose.
But if you come down and meet the person with calmness, you break their spirit.
We are learning. We've been broken. We've been angered. Now, forgiveness. You know, for me, I think forgiveness could mean different things to different people.
But before you even enter there, let me add one thing about controlling the anger. The breathing exercise, I don't know if I said that. That works as
Yeah,
well.
you said that.
Then sometimes it's good to do a physical activity, especially if you know you not get out of hand. So you could. I will not advise driving because you can, in your anger, you can end up crashing your car,
yeah.
and stuff like that. But you could do an exercise, you could jog, you could go for a walk, and stuff like that. I think that's I was telling somebody that when you go to a bar, it's not everybody who's sitting there who's there because they want to be there. Sample that's like they have chosen a wrong way of dealing with issues, but it's just to give them peace of mind.
Yeah.
You could go for a walk, go for jogging, do a physical activity, find someone to talk to that can help you. And here again, you need somebody who will, I would say, not non-judgmental, but somebody who is fair and firm.
Fair and firm, yeah.
Because sometimes when you tell somebody the issue, they will point out to you
Use
that
it
"Okra one
against
didn't
you.
say."
Exactly.
Not even so they'll use it against you, but they'll be able to tell you that what you did was wrong.
Yeah.
Because in your anger, we expect that if I tell you about this thing that this person has done to me, I expect you to side with me.
Yes.
But if you get somebody who's objective, they will tell you that
There are days, even you telling the person the truth triggers the person.
oh no, you can tell them when they come down.
No.
Not in that state.
I think I can relate and I buy into that because, you know, we all learn in whatever situations we go through. I would personally say it as it is, regardless. Maybe I would weigh the options as in the timing, but I'd rather tell you as it is than trying to.
If not that day or the same day that the thing is happening, or if the person is able to confide in like a firm and fair person, then so be it. But once the person, you know, some people when they get angry, my uncle, when he gets angry, he can just tell you, Selena, you see that drink your husband brought, I've smashed it. I've thrown it away. Don't come to me. Nobody should get to me. And then he will go sick. He needs us to get to him. And some of our other siblings are like, they are not going because he, in his state of anger, now that he's weak, he needs us. Because of the anger, the time he was angry and what he said, it has created that barrier.
But I believe it's an individual thing. Again, let me give you a scenario.
It's individual.
Let me give you a scenario. There was this time in front of my house, there was this it was late in the night, around 10, 11. My place is very quiet and calm. All of a sudden, I started hearing noise. So I came out and I was a little bit scared because the place is quiet and all that. So I beeped through the gates, the holes there. And there was these 2 guys, Bako Kita, private car with passengers, I think this from Accra to Aflao people. And I think there's this guy also who ran errands in Tema, delivery. So they were all trying to dodge traffic on the Dowinian Street. You know, the traffic is very. So the errand guy apparently went into their flower guy, and one can't sorry. He also thought, say, the guy was rushing, so out of anger, and I was I'm crashing one. So and they were at the neck of each other. So I came out and I asked what is the issue. We explained. I was like, seriously, like they were really. It was a serious issue. So I told the errand guy, like, oh boss, but I think someone he's right to react or behave the way he's behaving to you. So please calm down. Just go and apologize and let's get a solution to this. No, like I was able to really push him, like force him to calm down first and go in. And immediately he did that. In as much as I say, they were all calm and they all let go. So I believe it's depending on the situation one and who you are dealing with. You get it. You can easily communicate.
When even in the heat of the moment,
yes.
If
yes.
someone points to you that you are wrong, you calm down.
Yes.
No, it doesn't work for everyone.
It doesn't work for everyone. That's why I said depending on.
The other person might say, where the way and I went jamming.
No,
and that's why it has to be somebody. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so what I'm saying actually is that you are speaking to somebody that you know will be truthful to you.
Exactly.
So you respect their opinion. You know they are not biased.
Exactly.
I think people should also like to say sorry.
It's like we are saying, it depends on who you are dealing with.
When pride comes
you get it. When pride comes in, you can do
because most of the time, sorry actually solves.
There was this time too. I think
some of the sorry
made
is
me
just to prevent the thing. From owning up.
Yeah, you say the sorry.
No.
Then maybe later,
that sorry is deceptive.
What is the intention? What is the intention behind that sorry?
There's deceptive sorry.
Yes.
I get it. I agree. But what I'm saying is that sometimes just say the sorry. Then later you address the issue. I prefer that than you allowing the issue to escalate.
No, there are situations where there are situations where
that's what I'm saying is deceptive.
There are situations where, let's say, dealing with two matured people, when you say sorry, immediately the other one will take it on, and let's say the other party wouldn't even allow you to raise that. Okay, you say sorry, let's move on. But others will also, you say sorry, you need to discuss it, or will be sorry just for you to feel good, or like the deceptive thing.
Sorry, just to end the conversation.
You get it, just to end the conversation.
Even after the sorry, the issue needs to be addressed because I wouldn't want that same issue coming up again.
For me,
so even after the sorry,
if I'm not interested, then you say sorry. Trust me. Once I accept that, I wouldn't want to go back to discuss it.
Yes.
You get it. But if it's something that I really want to, after that sorry, I would rather even approach Charlie. This thing, I think, say 1 year, let's discuss it. You understand? That's so it depends. It depends.
There are some issues that sorry can just let it go, but there are some issues that it is not just by saying sorry.
But that's what some people would do.
Exactly.
So you see, when the person, the deceptive one, he will tell you that, oh, sorry. Then when you want to further the conversation, you say, don't get angry again.
And be like, sorry.
So to them, it's like the Ghanaian that they've caught, a typical Ghanaian who has been caught by police. Then he will say that police nature will say sorry. So it's like, once he says sorry, it's okay. You can let him go.
You can let it go.
You
get it.
So it's like the sorry is the magic word that will get you away from the trouble. But that exactly is not what it is.
Because in my case, I feel like it's the sorry that I didn't get early that escalated my issues.
Yes. So I get what you're saying. But you see, the other question I'll ask is, were the people even aware of the state?
Of the state you were in?
They were not.
Because you were reacting to something that you thought
nobody
were aware of.
There were some that they were aware. And the reason why I wouldn't even talk about some of them with you, because even the ones you were aware, you would do nothing about it. So why should I even tell you this one? Because there are some that you were aware. And then you took it as a trivial issue. Who feels like, that's a way.
Because I felt, for me, I think, no more until I see it.
Yeah, did you draw the attention to the fact that this was, and sometimes that's
no more until I see that is sometimes we feel we are communicating on like, but maybe any panel until I see from where you are coming from.
See, that's why they say that when a woman is pregnant, go to antenatal and do these things today. Because you see, for a woman who has just returned from
delivery,
a deadly delivery,
difficult pregnancy,
whatever, to come home and then after 1 month, I tell you that I want to go to my father's house. What are you supposed to do as a husband? Your wife tells you after 1 month of delivery, Monya out on me, nothing. Baby is still fresh. Baby even has a scar that you are, I mean, an injury that you are still treating. And wife says, I want to go to my father's house. I believe that
there's an issue, something triggered it.
I want to go to my father's house and be there for some time. I believe that you should be like, oh, what is it? Why? Why do you want to go? But if a husband goes like, okay, leave the baby and go.
Wow.
So some of these things.
No,
of course, we don't have the
yeah, we don't know the full
picture,
yes,
but there are several things in there.
We get it.
But I think
that's alone. Your wife telling you that she wants to go to her father's house. Alone should tell you that no, there is something we need to discuss.
Going on.
There is, even if I haven't told you that I have a problem.
Yeah. But you actually said I have a problem. You just said I am going to your father's house.
Why do I want to go to my father's house?
It's not like we are trying to communicate. It's not everybody who is. Sorry, I'm not referring to whoever, but like it's not everybody who is that matured to perceive or to understand. Okay, this is the thing. Let me inquire. You get it. So that is why personally I believe in dealing with people individually.
And sometimes there could be an assumption that you are overwhelmed and you need help that they cannot provide.
You get it.
So I just want to go for. So if the husband really believes that there is no problem and the wife just wants to go to the fight, do you tell the wife to leave the baby and go? The baby,
that is where.
So it means that you the man, and
you are aware there is something going on.
They are not able to handle it.
Now they won't know how to go about it.
They don't know how to
because
handle it.
if you know that it is just because she is overwhelmed and wants to go to the parents' house, you know that definitely she would want to go.
Yeah.
That
you
is
say,
the worst case.
you can go, leave the baby. You
It's
leave the
the
baby
worst.
because your mother is there. Does the mother have breast milk?
There
You
is
see,
none.
so probably, of course, maybe I would agree partly that maybe he was aware that okay, there is an issue or something. But I believe you were the one going through that problem.
I was
A friend of mine gave birth, like twins. She nearly lost one, but now they are all doing great and all that. She's having issues in her home and all
I
that.
lost one.
She confided
You can
in
imagine
me.
what I went through. I'm not cutting you. They were twins and I lost one. So you can imagine what I was going through at the time.
So she confided in me and all that, and all the problems she's facing in her home, not from the husband, but from the family and all that. I asked her only one question. Have you in any way disrespected your in-laws? She said no. I said, thank God. Because that would have pre-informed me on my next action or question. But immediately she said no. I was like, then you need not to. He went to marry someone. Even though in our settings as Africans, it's the
married
two
the
family.
family.
You dare not, once you cross that boundary, disrespecting your husbands or your, like it's a no-no. In as much as you, and that is where sometimes sorry do not work. You will say sorry, but Charlie, the harm has already been done.
And you see,
Yeah.
that
You get
time
it.
you were also going through that thing. Maybe there was something you were also doing that was annoying the other party.
That probably
And then
when you have the courage to address
even
and
say
all
it
that.
as well.
Maybe
Because you
say
were
it's an
depressed.
emotional
Yes,
process you were
you
going
didn't
through
see it.
to understand you from your angle.
You get
it.
blinded by
That's
the
why
anger.
I'm being very careful to really.
But it could also be that your reactions to were a bit difficult.
Your reactions are justifiable. You are going through hormonal whatever.
My reactions, yeah.
No,
in
like
fact,
it could be justifiable.
Oh yeah,
is
my
why-
reactions, yeah. I mean, I won't deny
To
the
you.
fact that now baby born with me.
No, Lillian.
So this is
We
somebody who
understand.
is enduring that, and then out of the blue,
Oh,
you
you
say that
understand.
you want to go to your mother. Oh, go and come.
So maybe from that angle, like
If you had said I should
no,
go with my baby.
Oh, yeah, go and
peace
come.
of mind. Go
Yeah,
and come.
because
Not
gets
in a
a peace of
negative way
mind.
to offend you.
So if you had said
No.
go and come,
No.
see,
That
if you had said
time,
go and come, I would have
He
been
was
okay.
ready to offend her also because she was equally pissing him off, but
Exactly.
he was not able
To have that peace
say.
to say.
So tell me go and come. I wouldn't have had a problem. But they leave my baby aspect.
No, of course,
the baby
we
I
all
always
know
like
at
to
that
leave my
time
baby.
or at that point, and I pray, no, it's not possible for you to leave the baby
No, it's
behind.
not possible.
It's not. But like she's saying
That
that
could
we are all
also
trying
be
to
another
communicate.
way of telling you that
Getting
not
back
go.
at you.
No, it's not even getting back at you. Another way of telling you don't go.
Exactly.
Because you know I would definitely
You will not go leave the baby behind. Exactly. You get
So you
it.
see, it's how you view the the situation.
That is
But I
the
could have gone.
unfortunate. You were also not seeing what was going on.
I was just like,
at that
about
point,
me, because I could have gone and gone with
That
my
is
baby.
why I said, anytime you are angry, you feel you are right.
Yeah.
You think the other party is wrong. It's a no.
Yeah.
But when you sit like Uncle Dennis said, you sit, you reflect on it, you write it, then you get to know that even this thing, it doesn't make sense. But that particular time.
But I mean, it has just taught me that don't let issues prolong
Yes.
before you address them.
That is the
Because
lesson
Because
you
when
learned
they
from
prolong,
what you've gone through.
Like the
Say
previous
me, Papa.
scenario,
Yeah.
it's prolonged and it didn't help.
me and now I mean
Then
after my emotions
And things stabilize.
stabilize, me ma didn't just cry.
No, of course, for me,
I will address
I've
it.
learned to just
it's one of the best
quiet.
ways in dealing with conflicts or issues.
Yeah.
Like, let's discuss it. Like, meka, and ameya me.
This anger thing.
But I have a controversial question I usually ask. When I'm counseling people, I ask them, like the Bible says, don't let the sun set on your anger. So you see that by inference, we say that if there's a problem, deal with it before. You go and sleep.
Yeah.
And I always have a question that I ask the couple that, because you see, when you're not married and you're angry,
It's different.
you go and sleep in your house, the other person go and sleep in your house. Now the person who is annoying you now, you are sleeping in the same,
bed.
you are sleeping on the same bed. They are snoring and then you are there and you are watching them like this. It's like basically breathing it.
Okay.
And the emotion is because if the two of us are angry and we go separate ways, you go to your house, I'll go to my house. The sunset in India, send me the job, I'm in front. But this one, I'm seeing you face to face.
Oh my
When I go to the washroom, you come and pass. When I'm brushing my teeth, I pass behind me. And when I'm going to watch TV, when I tell you, like,
That is where the remote
when I
is.
enter the kitchen too, you are there.
You are there.
Me too, I cannot do a kutianum and things. So I'm just watching. So I'm asking, so I'll ask them, so in that case, what do you do? Because there is a case. Is it that, I know some people will say that, okay, if you don't set it, there should nobody will sleep. Me, I'll sleep. Because the way I like
I'll
it,
sleep. I'll sleep.
it's very important.
Yes.
I'll sleep. There's a people who will sleep. And
Selena will
so
not
sometimes
sleep.
you hear some women will tell you that
Coming.
they don't understand why they have an argument with their husband and he's sleeping peacefully.
Peacefully,
Like, they don't understand.
That's the annoying part of the whole thing. It's so painful.
Me, I'll wake you up.
Oh, but many
some
people
people-
Make that.
No, I'll wake you up.
At one
Let's sorry
time.
about
they'll
that.
look at the
No,
face
and I'll wake you up
and
again.
No.
Me, I can wake you up like
friend,
1,000 times.
oh, was it?
No, me, I will let you
Then-
sleep.
Oh, you will sleep.
Until I'm ready to sleep.
I think
you
I
will
have
sleep.
I have a response to your question.
So I usually ask them, so then what do you do? Because now that we are living together, you clearly have not come down from your anger episode. The sun too has already set.
Yes.
And then, or maybe even the anger came from 9 o'clock that you were going to. It
9
was when you were going to
o'clock.
sleep on
The
the
sun
bed.
has already.
It was when you go to sleep on the bed, or it's in the bed that the thing happened. So then, what are you going to do? Are you going to say that you're going to wait to solve the problem?
Don't let
Or
the
what?
sun rise on the anger.
It should rise on the anger instead.
So in a very large or broader extent, I'll use the word adoption. It reminds me of this story of there's this big rich church in Ghana. I wouldn't mention the name. So there's this rickety sound engineer who lived in a rickety neighborhood using a rickety car, like old car, dating the daughter of the pastor who knew no poverty. Because there's money home. Car, girl, used to cry, Charlie. Then, girl, used to ranger, guy, used to like this Matters. So, like, we see the difference. Like, Omufi, no light out, like generator 247, you see, like, they lived a very soft life. Now, this lady got married to this guy, and the guy was like, the first night when they came back from honeymoon, pack your man like light out. Guy, and say it was like the experience was like also it was just praying. Also the insult from the girl. The insult. He was just praying.
Didn't she know what she was
only
doing?
me,
Didn't she know
like-
the guy's situation before she married?
So that is the question. But like the whole the revelation or you can say ending of the whole story is it taught us to be patient and forgiving.
Yeah.
Because that thing is also.
Because the guy was like, he understood the whole thing from where he is coming from and where the girl. So like, no need to engage and create
Engage
issues.
her because you know
So-
she's not been there before.
Or you didn't get a Yanamanga lights in Bayangasa. Uncle went through this whole year. Yanko Bemomo, but girl no benyim, you know. So more ban some beef, you know. Like say tapping floor. So again go do you outside. Or
Oh
do
no,
na
only bit that.
you know like nimna asa bucketing. Guy ni some kasao, not the mob dinechi. No word. Because they name moves you that. And the what's the painful aspect is the insults or the words.
That comes out from her mouth.
Doing that, we are not guy need to no more because anytime they go and pray, guy needs some bonfire silence or bonfire opening, not to the step, but like to let the girl know, say,
This
and
thing.
then the thoughts are not like BB.
Yeah.
So with time, I think this is God intervening. With time, God really touched the lady, and any power only used to this insulting the guy. Now she became very supportive, understood, said, okay, this is me coming from a rich background. Me papa will be here. Now I'm with this guy.
Who doesn't have anything?
Hey, we were all touched by the story and everything. Like the conclusion or the concluding part of it always say it taught us to be patient, forgiving. Like, and yeah, almost say from see order, you get it. And I was tempted to mention the guy's name. The guy is very calm, respectful. Like, or say, you mentioned our names, say, Eben, you will not get me to do what you want. As in, anger me to say,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, now you will be here to anger me. You know, like, I'm running away. And you will not get me. And the lady confirmed that there were several or a couple of times she did things to anger the guy for the guy to talk. She never got that.
Because she wanted the response.
She never got it.
And I'm sure it's
You
the
get
calm nature of the guy
That changed.
changed the
Because
lady
help
and
us
helped
to
them
reach
to
that
overcome.
level.
Because probably it's because he has a forgiving heart.
Yes.
That's why the lady was even able to change. Because
Change.
imagine that he was also always angry.
Always.
Yes. So
Retaliating.
then forgiveness, I believe, could mean different or could mean in nothing or could mean anything to different people.
different people, yeah.
So, and from what we've discussed so far, forgiving from my side, it's an intentional decision to let go of an anger
Yeah.
or resentment or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, so I don't know what is forgiveness in our individual perspective and how must we forgive people? Like in what way or form or how in our practical lives, how should we or how must we practice forgiveness?
Forgiveness is basically letting go. So you are releasing, or if releasing the other person.
Yeah.
Yes.
So somebody has offended you, you are releasing that, because what happens is that you sometimes end up you are keeping the person in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
That is you. That's the experience you are having. Like you are holding on to the person, and that's what is creating the problem for you. So, if you are the one who has been offended, if you have not forgiven the person, it means you are holding the person.
Mm-hmm.
Once you release them, you have forgiven them. You have let them go. You have released the person. So that's why sometimes when you tell people that you are forgiving them, they sometimes have some sense of relief, because then they know that the issue is no longer an issue. It has been let go.
There was this school of thought that said the first stage of healing is forgiveness. The first point of forgiving someone is you forgiving yourself.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
You see, there's no conflict where the two parties don't contribute.
okay.
So usually it is like when something happens, if you really think about it carefully, you realize that you played a role in
whatever.
the issue. So when the conflict comes or something happens and one party is angry or something, just reflect back on your role. There was something you could have done, or there was something that you shouldn't have done. So forgiving yourself is seeing that you're not perfect. Because sometimes even acknowledging that makes it easy for you to forgive the other person. But if I realize that I'm not a perfect person, I could have handled it better. It is easier for me to also give that person that benefit of the doubt and say that, and let it go.
Okay. Do you have any submissions on forgiveness?
He has said it all, and most of the time, forgiving the person is not really for the person, it's for you yourself.
Good.
Because it makes it easy for you to go on, like move on. Once you keep holding that thing, it makes you stuck. You just, any moment, anytime you see the person or hear the person's name or somebody even bearing the person's name, then
Or riba, or boo.
just because you
Yeah.
have been and you never forgive. And
But sorry to interrupt. Like, is that a good practice? Because most of the times, I keep telling people the fact that, let's say, I've had a bad experience with Selena doesn't mean all ladies are the same.
No, it's just a trigger.
Like it's okay.
It's just
No,
a
but you know, most of the time we use it as our
We do
yardstick.
it
Like,
a
okay,
lot.
meaning Lily in your friend because I had a bad experience with
Yeah.
Selena. Meaning Braden is in your friend
No, it's
because.
just a trigger. It's just a trigger.
It's
But is
normal.
it healthy?
It's not healthy, but is it that means you have not let it go?
Yeah.
Good.
To
Good.
you think it's okay. That is, every time you are the other side, you think you are the right one.
Yeah,
Until somebody boldly and firmly tells you that
you are wrong.
you are wrong.
Yeah.
And until you yourself, you reflect on all that has happened, then you know that no, I also didn't do well. Sometimes, I remember one time, I had a problem with one of my neighbors. Their tap was not flowing and mine was flowing. She came to fetch water from me. And then she didn't close my tap. She left it there, me too, I didn't know till the next morning. The whole
Wow.
place was like.
Flooded. Yeah.
And when I saw it, I quickly went and called her. Sisi, did you? She said she didn't go there. She made sure she logged there. I said, you were the last person to go there. I didn't go there until this morning. You know, she stopped greeting me. And when I greet her, she won't respond. I felt, then I also stopped greeting. One time I was by my entrance and she called me, Auntie Selena, good morning. And then I asked her, since when she has started working? You know, I felt I was right.
Yeah.
But as at that particular time, I could have responded and that was
And then,
it.
yeah, you have just let it go.
But because she threw me off the other time, I felt I had the power. But still, I was holding on to it. At a point, she gave birth. Now, she needed water. I intentionally locked my tap. You know, later I felt so guilty.
Bad, yeah.
And I went back to her door and Sisi, ubebu nsoni bi. She said, she was also giving it to me back to back.
Yeah.
So who send me pension now lock it pipe. And I'm sitting there for us and saw her. And then we became very good neighbors. Now she has moved out of my compound and I miss her.
Sure.
So sometimes when you are the other side, you think you are right. But the forgiveness is not for the other person.
It's for you.
It's for you.
Yeah.
Because you need to give, just forgive and grow.
Yeah.
Until then, you are always stuck. It keeps you in a particular bottle. You think you have the upper hand, but no, it's not easy though. But I think if we can all let go, it will help us.
But even the things we mentioned that happens to you when you get angry, there are similar things that happen to you when you don't forgive people.
Okay.
So the biological issues, the emotional, all those things, you experience them because you are holding on to it. You are
So
holding on.
which one is more dangerous? As in the repercussion of what we go through, not forgiving people or being angered and all that.
You see, I'm getting a call right now. I'm having some heartbeats. I know it's not a good news because of unforgiveness.
Okay.
Because of unforgiveness, I'm going to feel guilty for a very long time. And maybe if it is true what I'm thinking, I may not be able to even go to the person's funeral, the Seraphim lady. I'm getting a call, and where the call is coming from, it's not a good news.
Yeah.
Just because of
Unforgiveness. Yeah.
And she was not even, and sometimes you make people the victims when they are not.
Yeah.
You victimize people just because of Charlie. It's not good. It's I don't know how to put it again, but it's just deadly. It hurts you, like Uncle has said. It really, really makes you go through all those heart palpitations, the diabetes. It makes you always have. You could be sleeping and then you remember. Then you have, my goodness.
You wake up and your heart, you are sweating.
You have nightmares, unnecessary.
Sometimes you'll be killing them in your head.
Yes, you become a
You'll
mess.
be imagining a lot of things happening to
And
them.
you wish bad things will happen to those people. Something you should not be forgetting that whatever you think, your thoughts, they might happen to you yourself, because your thought does not know that the thought is for the other party.
No.
Because you are thinking it, the thought thinks it is you yourself. So it rather happens to you than to the person you are even thinking that should happen to. It's very unfortunate. We all learnt it the hard way. So whoever is watching and listening, please.
Okay, so I think the last thing I would say, does forgiveness really guarantee reconciliation?
No.
Not necessarily. Somebody said that yes, and you can only help them from afar. Yes, so because when they are too close to you, they might create a lot of problems for you. So sometimes you are not holding on to the grudge, but you are also creating a distance of safety,
Create boundaries.
so that you are not
protecting your mental health as well.
Yeah.
So, and what if the person you are forgiving does not change?
That
What
one
do
is
you
the
do?
Forgiveness does
It's
not. It's not a guarantee that the person will
Forgiveness
change.
is actually for you,
That's why I say it's for you.
Okay.
not for them. So if you forgive them and they refuse to change, that's why he said some people are you love them from afar. They don't have to be close.
If you've observed
So,
that thing,
you-
it always works with people when they are far. Some
So
people
you not change them,
obewa, namoku, but Owechia, you guys vibe. Oh,
Yeah.
Charlie, how be you could?
Isn't that familiarity? Being
Is
too
it?
familiar. Because I'm personally speaking for myself. I'm the type that regardless how I joke with you or I play around you, I have my limits.
And that is
Yeah,
where
that's
some
boundaries you have,
people
because
can
you have
Yes.
identified clusters of friends,
Yes.
or you put people in categories, which is something that is important
Yeah.
for everyone to do. So that will work if you have that system.
Because sometimes, let's say I joke around, let's say someone, and the person feels like, okay, you expect me to do this, and I say, no, this is my limit. I can't do this unless you approve or you allow me. And they go like, oh no, but we are free and all that. But I set, like you say, I set boundaries with friends, with people, individually. I can joke, do everything, but I know when I get to my limits, I stop.
Yeah, so when living in that state, it's very difficult for people to accept it, because you have created a system. So you know what to accept from each person. Because what upsets you, the people who hurt you most are those who are very close to you. So if you have that system in place, it's easy to even manage your expectations of people, so that you are not getting in there. As for the change in behavior, the forgiveness doesn't guarantee that the person changes. So it's bad to insist that unless the person changes, you will not forgive.
You
them.
not forgive, yeah.
It's anyhow.
So
It's how they work at.
will we be justified when we go like, unless if the person do not change or does not change, we are not going to?
No.
Is it justifiable, or we still have to forgive regardless?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the
regardless.
Bible says forgive 77 times.
77 times, 77 times.
Yeah, and that mathematics, when you do it, it's a very
It's
large.
a very large.
And the question is it for one particular thing?
It's
For one
for
particular
day.
thing,
It's for one
so
day.
means that the person
That
offends you
70
for
is
this
for one
thing.
day.
That
For
is
another
just
thing,
for
it's the same 77 for
No,
another.
it was not. It was just an expression.
Expression,
of
knowing
It
that
means that
it's-
forgive
it's
us.
yeah,
not
forgive all the
possible.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it means. Forgive all the time.
And I would say, how can you even decide to keep this big person in your heart? It's too big to be keeping in your
The
heart.
worst is the person is happily walking about. Like he doesn't care what you are even
Well,
feeling.
me, I have learned the hard way.
Yeah, we all have.
To just
We all have.
let go.
Let's just let
We've had a very interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Now to conclude, I think I'll give everybody, let's say, 2 minutes to conclude, summarize on what we've discussed today: being broken, being
betrayed.
being betrayed, being angered, and onwards forgiveness. So in 2 minutes each, let's conclude on
Mine
this.
will be on like there is no way people will not, or someone will not betray you if you don't disclose things to them. So if it's possible, just keep whatever you think is not supposed to be known. so that you won't feel betrayed. Keep it to yourself if you can. And if you can't, just go to the beach or see animals, sit them down,
And talk to them.
This thing that is happening, they'll be looking at. And when you are done, they won't go and gossip about
You know, I used to do that.
me, I have those.
Whenever I get pissed off, and like very angry at home, just drive, go park at the beach, and I'll just be standing, asking myself questions.
Yeah.
Sometimes midnight, do it when I'm calm. Sometimes like we discussing, I some of relevant. Charlie, me because I said.
Yeah.
So when I just get back, then I just come
home.
home.
The painful aspect of it for me. That is what I don't understand.
Yeah.
So I won't give anybody the pleasure.
Yeah, to go through that pain for them.
And the anger itself, no. I have learned the very hard way. I have lost a lot of things just because I got angry.
Yeah.
And it didn't justify whatever I felt.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. Let's not be getting angry unnecessarily. Like Uncle Dennis said, it's not necessary. If you sit and ask yourself questions, say, it's like some time back, one of our celebrities said, if she had known the things she knew now, if she had known, there were certain people she wouldn't have befriended.
Yeah.
There were certain relationships she wouldn't have been in. So once we are all getting to that stage, today when you are making choices, when you are taking decisions, take them with that in mind that people may betray you, people may anger you, but the forgiveness is for you. The rest of it, leave it to them. If you can, forgive. Even when you are angry, the best, just walk away. If you can't walk away, make sure you are quiet. Some people are good at it. They won't say anything. And one friend of mine will ask me, Sally, are you okay? The moment she asks me that, I feel so stupid. So I cease getting angry in front of her. And she can easily anger you. So we all are learning and we all are growing. It's part of growth. It's part of life. It's one stage to the other. So let's all try to just let go. And the forgiveness in dear is very, very necessary. Let's all forgive. Forgive. We've held things years and years and years. They are still hurting us. Thank you.
I think it's a good thing because, and I think we all need that one person in our life who we can look back and say, okay, if we had met this person, we would have. Personally, I think I have that one person in my life now that I relate to. If I had met this man 10 years or a few years, I'll be invisible.
Yeah.
Because this person, trust me, brethren, is like, he challenges you, like your destiny, your life. It gives you see or you find your own purpose as a human being or as a person in life. You become a good or a better version of yourself. That is his joy. That is his, whatever he's been sent on this earth to do. Let's say today he meets you, you are not working or you are not schooling. If you relate to him sincerely, the next time you find yourself, you're out of school, you have your degree. And from your first degree, the next time you see him or after you meet him again, you have your master's. He always challenges you to add value to your life. So I believe, or I think if we all have such people in our lives will be very better. Yes. Your submission was...
Yeah, so I think we've looked at what anger is, what it does to us, and what we need to be mindful of. It's okay to get angry, yes, but your reaction to that emotion is what is important, and we need to learn to let things go, forgive people when they offend us, because even if you don't forgive, the condition for God forgiving is that you are also forgiven. And then let's also sometimes pray about our emotions for God to be able to work on our hearts, because if He is the one who created us and placed those emotions in us, I'm sure that He will be the best person to help us to regulate it. So if you know you have a difficulty in managing some of the emotions, it's good to also pray about it. Especially if you have an anger problem, to pray about it. And then, because He even asks us to cast our burdens onto Him. So anger, anxiety, and stuff. Let's just say a word of prayer about it and trust God to touch our hearts.
Thank you very much. Lillian.
Yeah, I would also say that, let's always communicate. Communicate, no matter what it is, because the other person may not know what you are going through. The other person may not know why you are angry. So communicate and forgive. You can't keep the big person in your heart. So just forgive and let go. It's for you. It's not for the
The
person.
way we always complain about the government and stuff, they are sleeping. They are angry.
All right, viewers. Yet again, we've come to the end of another thrilling, interesting session on the GOB3 Show, God Over Broken Emotions, here on Carrie's podcast. We want to say a very big thank you to our panelists for being here with us today, and hope to see you again another time. Thank you. Bye-bye. God bless you.
Yay.